Do you hate ads? I hate ads. You know what I like? Patreon.com/inkdependence. It keeps this channel ad-free. Hello folks, welcome to Ink Dependence. I'm Mike, and today we're taking a look at this set of inks. It's a special set of inks from Papier Plume down in New Orleans, Louisiana. These were released yesterday as a set, and I just got them, so it's time for me to show them to you and do a little water drop test and show you on some different papers and all that jazz. So, when you order these, you'll get this little box, and inside this box are 5 little ink bottles. These are 15 ml ink bottles, and they are little glass bottles. Papier Plume makes all their inks in-house from special French dyes that they get from France. You have this little, like a paper towel in there. You've got a spoon and a straw for eating your snow cones, because these are a Sno-Ball party. These ink bottles don't have the names of the inks on them, which is like one of my only knocks on these inks. It does come with this sheet which tells you what the names are, but it would have been nice to have not just the color, but also maybe a name kind of around the edge. That's my nitpick. Also, like they could have put the name here and like the size of the bottle or something there. I don't know, but nonetheless, fun little set of inks. And this card is actually more fun than I thought it was going to be too. Look at that iridescence on the card. Really cool. Okay, so you have plum, tutti frutti, spearmint, tiger's blood, and bubblegum. If you are from that area, or I hear Houston and Dallas areas, like these Sno-Ball things are expanding. They didn't have these down there when I was in Texas many moons ago, it turns out, but they have expanded throughout the region. And some of my friends were telling me about their favorite combinations or their favorite flavors and all that sort of thing. So spearmint, tiger's blood, those have been getting a whole lot of love from my friends. So let's take a look at what these look like on some papers. This is the set right here. They are $35 for this 15 ml set, or this set of 5 15 ml bottles, and they are a very nice selection of colors. We have plum, tutti frutti, spearmint, tiger's blood, and bubblegum here. And as you can see, these all do have good saturation. Even bubblegum, which I was a little worried was going to be a bit too light for me. Here they are on the Col-o-dex cards. I was a little worried about this one being light because it is the lightest of the set, I think, and you can actually see it's a bit of a multi-chrome. You have this nice blue color, but also there's some pink hidden in the darker swatches there. I don't really see it in the writing samples so much, although maybe a little bit up in here, just like a little tinge of pink every once in a while, which is pretty cool. So I did these, and I was like, well, I need to have more writing samples. So I did some of these, and that gives you like a little scribble on this. This is Maruman Croquis paper, which I like quite a lot. I've also got it here on, this is Tomoe River paper. These are those 5 inks right in here. And all 5 of these look really nice on this paper. You can definitely see a little bit of that pink here in the bubblegum blue, which I think is pretty cool. I don't know, if you're like me, maybe you grew up with snow cones that were blue snow cones that were bubblegum flavor, and then they had a little gumball in the bottom of the snow cone. Y'all remember those? I don't remember what they were called, but they were a thing we get at like baseball games or from the ice cream truck or whatever. But a little pink gumball on the bottom. That's what that reminds me of. Plum, very nice. I've got this here in a pretty wet broad nib. This is a double broad sig nib, and I love this ink in this pen. I think it looks really good. This one is actually a broad stub, but it is a number 5 nib, so a little bit on the smaller side. And then spearmint here is in just a regular old medium nib. I think maybe a medium stub. It might be a stub. I can't really identify it. I didn't write it down, so like whatever, but looks good on the Tomoe River paper. Then here, this is wheat straw paper, which is closest to like maybe sugarcane paper these days. It's a little bit hard to find, but again, all 5 of them are here as well. And I think they all look pretty darn good on this paper as you look through the swatches. You don't really see the pink on this paper as much. It doesn't really, I see maybe a little bit there in that scribble, but not a whole lot really. Of course, it is a scribble and not just a swatch, so it's less ink. But if you were worried that these inks would be undersaturated, don't worry about that, because they are definitely they definitely have a good saturation. And also, this is a really fun set of ink colors, I think. If you have maybe you're a person who doesn't have that many inks, this might be a good way to expand your color palette, because none of these are standard colored inks really. And also, like $35 for 15 ml bottles is not bad. For 5 15 ml bottles, I should say. It comes with all 5. Let's take a look at the copy paper test. I really quickly did little scribbles on here. And you can see that these are not perfect on copy paper. I've discovered that a lot of Papier Plume inks are really not super well suited for this terrible 20%, 20 pound, 30% recycled copy paper. This is the worst paper you're going to find. It's what your office buys for the copier. It's perfectly fine for copier toner, but once you start putting liquid inks on it, they all tend to bleed through. These are bleeding. These are not from the even same set. These are actually doing a little bit better than these Papier Plumes, but most things will bleed through at least a little bit on here, but you do get some feathers and you get a little bit of bleed through. Not perfect on bad paper, but they looked good on all the decent papers and all the good papers. So I would say that's a win. Let's go ahead and do a water drop test of all of these. Yeah, I wrote out a water drop test for each one. Okay, so here we have 5 grids. Oh, I didn't give bubblegum dots. Do I want to give bubblegum dots? All right, let's give bubblegum some dots. And then we'll let that dry. All right, that actually dried really quickly, even on this this rodeo paper, which is pretty cool. But still, we'll drop that one. We'll do drops on that one last, just because it's not as much time as these. So whoa, got a little bit crazy with the plum there. That. There's some of the tiger blood up there. We get the spearmint. This syringe is being a little bit obstinate at the moment. Tutti frutti. Bubblegum is last. There we go. Plum? What's up? You didn't get any on your name. There, enjoy. You will not escape. It's like kind of squiggle them around. They're actually all doing pretty darn well, which is impressive. I can make that go down. There we go. All right. Let's mop them all up together. Blot. Oh, severe thunderstorm warning. Woof. Gross. Currently, it's very sunny. Blam. So there you go. There are all the little grids and stuff. Do some more. Still a little bit on the wet side. Okay. All right. Yeah. So all of these are actually readable. You lost some color from each one pretty evenly, I would say. But yeah, you can see all of these. And if you spilled your water or whatever on these, I'm going to go ahead and say these are kind of water resistant, because you would be able to recover and read all that work. Every dot, even the blue dots that we just did, some of them do change color a little bit. The bubblegum turned purple. This one turned like cyan. This one just left pink, kind of a maroon, and a little bit of a maroon there. Kind of a pinkish, I guess, on that one too. So yeah, interesting stuff. Let's look at the chromatographies, because these are fun. All right, so there's the chromatographies for each of these inks, and they're really interesting. It's a little bit bowed up because I did these fairly recently and have not smashed them down. So there you have it. Tutti Frutti, which is pretty much just pink. Like I said, they get all these dyes from France, and so it looks like they're using the same kind of dye set throughout these. This one looks like it has some pink and some of whatever this color is, and then it's also got yellow and orange up there. This one is pink with a blue tinge, and this one is blue with a little pink tinge down here. I think these are just the inverse proportions of those colors, which that's fun. If you mix it one way, you get bubblegum. You mix it the other way, you get plum. Weird, right? And then this one has a little bit of green and yellow up in that blue. But notice that this is spearmint, which means that little blue and green and yellow bit, you get a very nice bright green. Cool how all these kind of come together when you mix those inks like that, isn't it? All right. Thanks very much for checking this out, and thanks to Papier Plume for sending this out for review. It's always nice to see inks from Papier Plume. I like the way these write. These are not undersaturated. They're a little bit maybe on the wet side, and they aren't perfect on copy paper, but man, if you put them on anything decent, they're going to behave really well. I mean, this is a very thin Croquis paper. It's not super fountain pen friendly, although it is pretty darn good. It worked perfectly well on here, so really nice. So check these out over at Papier Plume. Tell them that I sent you. Tell them Mike says hi, and go pick these up while they're available over there. I don't think they're a limited time thing, but it's a fun set to have for summer. Think about having a snow cone, and I will see y'all in the next video. Peace out.